Okay, today I am setting up an InDesign document that will contain my calendar. I'm working in master pages. I've already got some things set up here. I've got rulers displayed at the top of and side of my window. I've pulled down a guide at the halfway point of my page at 7 inches. I'm If I wanted to pull down another guide, I could just go up into the rulers, click and pull down. That's how I got that one in there. I've also got a rectangle frame placeholder that's going to contain my image, but what I neglected to put in here was my bleed line. So to put in the bleed line, my image will bleed out to the edge. I need to go back to, no, not that one. I need to go back to Document Setup in File menu. Wow, I'm like mousing all over the place today. What a mess. So in my document setup panel, not margins, bleed and slug. I'm just going to change the bleed. I'm going to leave slug alone. Bleed, I'm going to set to 0.1378, which will look visually like an eighth of an inch. Once I have that set in there, I will click OK, and now I have a bleed line around my document so that I can stretch my images all the way out to the bleed line. Print will know it bleeds off the edge of the document. So other things I'm going to set up, I'm going to use my text tool to set up the name, what will be the name placeholder for each month. I'm going to stretch out my text box from margin guide to margin guide to ensure that this is centered in the middle of my document, from left to right, middle. I'm going to write out the month. I don't need to put in like a specific month. I can just have it be, say, month. I am going to change the typeface because I don't like the default. The default is Minion Pro. I'm going to choose something, I don't know, easier to read. Arial Black is bold and easy to read. I'm also going to up the font size because 12 point is dinky. So I usually choose like 30 something point. I don't know, 44 looks kind of good. Maybe I'll leave it that way. Maybe I'll change it. Yeah, bring it down to about 37. So what I have to do now is center this within the text box. To do that, I can do that up in control bar here, or if for some reason you don't see it in control bar, you can always open up from window menu. You can go to type in tables and open paragraph panel, and you'll see the same little text alignment controls in there. So I'm going to just center from control bar, and once I have that in there, I'm going to, oh hey, there's something missing from here. I never drew out my calendar boxes. I don't have my rectangle shape tool. I'm going to have to draw that like once I sort of move this into position. So rectangle shape tool, I'm just going to drag that out using the margin guides as my guide. And by default, hey, mine wound up with no color in it. So I'm going to change the stroke color to either registration or black. Either one will look black, that's fine. I'm also going to up the stroke weight from 1.23 because it's easier to see. Next, I'm going to use my line tool. I could use line tool or pen tool. Today I'm using line tool. And holding down the shift key to create a straight vertical line in here that's going to become the thing that's going to help me make columns for days of the week. Once I make one, I'm just going to grab my select tool and hold down Option key on my Mac, Alt key on a PC, and just drag that to the right. There we go. No, that's not right. Okay, try it again. Option, click, and drag. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, I'm going to keep doing Option, click, and drag. I'm going to do it 6 times because there are 7 days of the week, and this will make it look like there are 7 columns here. They are hideously spaced. I have to fix that. The best way for me to do that is to Shift select them all very carefully. I don't want to select the rectangle shape that I made in the background, which is why I'm doing this carefully. Normally I would just click and drag and select all of it, but I'm going to do something called distribute, and I want to make sure that I only have those vertical lines selected and not the rectangle frame behind it. So to do that, if I don't see the alignment tools in my control bar, I will go to window menu, scroll down to Object and Layout, and open up the Align panel. In the Align panel, I got a whole bunch of things in there. I've got different alignment tools. I could align left, I could align center. None of the top align objects things are going to mean anything to me except that first one, which is align top. If I click that, every vertical object that I have selected is going to align to the top. This is going to ensure that I don't have any bloopers sticking out. I mean, I can always adjust, but it means that all of those lines will be aligned. This is also the same reason I made one line, then duplicated it. I want everything to be the same size. I don't want any room for error there. Next, I did distribute objects in the next bunch of things down. The thing I chose was distribute vertical centers. So it makes it look like, and they are all distributed evenly across here. I can select them all. I can play with the bounding box. I can use my left or right arrow keys to kind of nudge them into position until I'm just eyeballing it. So, you know, bad girl. And then I'll click and drag to select everything. Go to Object menu, choose Group, or hit Command G or Control G on my keyboard, and just group all these together so that I can't nudge them out of place once I get going on stuff. That way it's all like grouped together as one thing. Okay, time to recycle. So I'm going to do Option, click and drag for the month, and I'm going to recycle this and turn this into days of the week. So again, Option, click and drag, or Alt, click and drag if you're on a PC. I'm just duplicating this because it's going to become my days of the week. So I got to select this and change everything out. Days of the week in most of the calendars I work on usually starts on Sunday. I'm not going to use Arial Black. I'm going to use a different font. I'm going to use a bold. That looks good. I'm also not going to leave this at 37 point. I'm going to knock it down to, I thought I was going to make it larger. I don't know, maybe I'll make it larger later. Okay, so select this. This is something that's going to repeat every month, so I can put it on the master page. It's not like the actual name of the month where it's going to change. So I will just write out the days of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday is always a pain because it's so long. So why don't we just abbreviate? Maybe we'll just not write the word day. Everybody knows their days of the week, right? So we don't have to put the word day. Somebody's going to know. So I'll go back in and just take out the word day, and we'll just leave it like SUN, MON, the abbreviation for Tuesday. That way we get away with a Wednesday, and we can center everything nicely once we take out the tab ruler and start centering things in the columns. So I'm not going to center here. That I will do in another video when we start to use tab ruler.